today to talk about the flu. It's on a lot of people's minds because we're seeing a lot of it right now, especially in our area. So, can you tell me the prevalence of the flu strain right now, this early into flu season, and what that could mean?
Yeah, so we definitely are seeing a higher amount of flu cases in the area. And typically, this is what we expect to see as the winter season progresses. The cases that we've seen recently are a little bit more severe than, say, last year. And so that does speak to the fact that this strain of the flu virus seems to be a little bit more challenging for people to overcome. But the prevention and treatment of the flu remains the same, and that's great news that we can do some things to try to impact the situation. So it's not too late to get your flu shot. And so you can go ahead and get that now at your local pharmacy or at your physician's office. Typically, it takes about 2 weeks for that vaccine to become fully effective, but the flu season goes all the way into May. So it's great to go ahead and get that vaccine now if you haven't had a chance to get it yet.
Yep, absolutely. And again, of course, it's always important to get our flu shot. But as a doctor, have you seen more people with flu this early in the year, or is this kind of a usual thing to see?
Yeah, so this is something that we see pretty typically. So in that regard, it's not unusual, but we are seeing just in general across the country a higher number of flu cases than in previous years. But it's the same type of symptoms and the same people really with the highest risk, those being the very young or the very old, or people who have other chronic medical illnesses that affect their lung function or their resistance to infection. Those people are at the highest risk.
Absolutely. And there can be a lot of misinformation around vaccines and getting things like the flu shot. I know a lot of people, including me at one point, I will say, believe that, well, I got the flu shot and I still got the flu. I bet the shot is what gave me the flu. Now, of course, I know that's not the case, but can you walk through the people that may be nervous to get a flu shot and explain why it's not so scary?
Yeah. So the flu shot is very safe. But yes, a lot of people are worried that the flu shot will make them feel sick. Sometimes it's just a coincidence because you're getting that flu shot right at the beginning or in the middle of flu season, and you just so happen to already be exposed to someone with the flu. And because the shot takes about 2 weeks to be effective, you end up getting sick anyway, and the timing makes you anxious. But in other people, a vaccine can cause an immune response. That's how the vaccine works. And so sometimes for the next day, you might feel a little bit achy or tired, or maybe even have a low grade fever. But that's just a brief reaction to the vaccine itself and how it's stimulating your immune response. And it goes away fairly quickly. And then that's it. And then you'll end up being protected from the virus. So we do recommend it, even if you have concerns. We try to help discuss that. Speak to your doctor if you're worried about the specifics in your situation, but it is recommended for everyone.
Yep, absolutely. And the flu shot isn't just something that can keep yourself safe, it's also there to keep your community safe as well. Is that right?
That's right. And so if you live with someone who is a higher risk, or you have a lot of time being around someone who's a high risk, maybe say your grandmother, or you have an infant, if you get sick, it might make you feel sick and in bed for a few days, but it's not going to put you in the hospital. But you could potentially expose someone at risk and then put them in the hospital. And you definitely don't want to expose any of your friends and family. So the more people who get the vaccine, the better protected everyone in the community is, because we just decrease that risk of spread.
Yeah, absolutely. And this can be, I mean, especially important if you're a kid going to school, say, or you work in an environment where you're, you know, talking and meeting and, interacting with people on a day to day basis.
Yeah, because we life keeps on happening, right? So we have to go to the grocery store, we go to church, we go get gas at the gas station. We're always coming in contact with other people in the community. And it doesn't take much to get exposed to someone who's been sick or for us to expose someone else.
Yep, absolutely. And is there anything else that you would like people in our community to know about the flu, about the flu shot, anything like that?
Yeah, so, just remember that the flu presents just like any other upper respiratory illness at the beginning. The things that kind of set the flu apart typically are a lot of body aches, bad headaches, in addition to those cough and upper respiratory symptoms. And then sometimes you'll get a fever. If you find yourself with a fever, that's the point when you might want to think about going to the doctor to get checked out. There are antiviral medicines to help the flu go away faster, and you might be a candidate for that. And so that's the time when I would suggest to go beyond just over the counter medicine for symptom relief. If you get that fever over 101, that's a good time to visit the doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, always we need to remind people to wash their hands, keep up good hygiene, things like that. I'm sure that helps with the flu as well.
Yeah, hand washing is the best way to prevent any sort of infection. And then, think about cleaning those high touch areas like doorknobs, especially something that everyone is sort of running their hand against that you're likely to come in contact with. A disinfectant wipe that helps get rid of bacteria and viruses can help prevent that contact.
Yep, absolutely. And is there anything else that you think I might have skipped over that people need to remember, need to know, anything like that?
No, no, I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all too. Again, I try to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to meet with me and let people know that the flu it's not fun to have, but it's not as scary as people think it to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks so much. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye, Dr. Bellenger.